Guys, how are we doing? Crypto Insight UK here, bringing you back another YouTube video. So I'm going to try and keep this one shorter than usual. I've been going like 12 minutes-ish every day. I'm going to try and keep this like 8 or 9, but who knows with me. So getting straight into it, I'm going to talk a lot about XRP again this video, because I just think there's so much going on with XRP. I think sentiment was completely flushed out the other day, including myself. It hit me, and so I know that if it's hitting me, imagine what other people are feeling like who don't have the same experience in the markets that I have. That's why I wrote that tweet yesterday. I wrote a tweet yesterday about how I felt, because people need to remember that I try and tweet from a kind of neutral perspective. I give my opinion, I give some emotion, but I don't like say, oh, I hate this, I hate that, blah, 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 because there's no point and it doesn't affect anything. But I just wanted you to know that I still do have feelings, but then I have to remove those feelings if I want to have a true understanding of what is actually going on. So that's why I say, like, when you get emotional, when you're feeling frustrated, shut the laptop, leave for a day, go for a run, whatever it might be, have a coffee, go and see your friends. Take your mind out of the situation, then come back to it. That's the most important part. That's one thing that I've really learned along this journey is, with XRP specifically, it's taught me patience. It's also taught me that no matter how I feel, it doesn't affect anything. In fact, it probably affects things negatively if I have some sort of feeling either positively or negatively towards it. With that being said, I'm bullish. So before we get into that, go and check out my first ever podcast, please. I interviewed Aaron McDonald, co-founder of Futureverse. It's a fucking sick talk. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, buzzing. It blew my mind. They've pretty much created real life, in my opinion, or they're very close to creating life and consciousness, however you might bracket that. But go and check that out. Obviously, it's free on my YouTube. Just click the link here. It's a pinned tweet in my Twitter. Now getting into it. Yesterday, Brazil's largest crypto exchange, Mercado, partnered with Ripple for cross-border payments. And actually, I haven't got the tweet up. Economan made a great little thread about this, so let's just talk about that. Where is it? Where is it? Here. Yeah, he basically said for treasury options between Brazil and Portugal, there are a couple of interesting points. He said, this stands out that Ripple is a single counterparty. The point of contact suggests that the shape of the product suite and how it might integrate the whole world of the XRP community probably hasn't seen for payment flows. So it talks about that there are 80 payout markets and that Ripple is like a one-stop integration for global access. Details, it says Ripple payments, an iteration of ODL, not just tech but on money flow, and it manages not just settles cross-border payments. Support for international payments for corporate and retail customers in the future. And he said context and conjecture, aside from ODL, there's no direct mention of XRP in the About section or PR press release mentions their solution. Timing is also interesting given the SEC news. I'd have thought this is a swell announcement, but regardless, a nice counterbalance headline. And actually, the CEO of Mercado is speaking at Swell. So let's see, like, there could be some big announcements coming from Swell, guys. I really do think that. And I really hope that that Ripple double down on XRP at Swell, and it's a big FU to the SEC, as we know who appealed yesterday. Not only this, but we saw a total of $32 million worth of RLUSD minted on the XRP ledger yesterday, which is an insane amount compared to what we've been seeing recently. Now, we haven't seen a press release for this yet either. They keep stating this is in testing phase. We don't know exactly how the backend's going to work. They did say a mixture of treasuries and US dollars when they first talked about it. But we have yet to see anything for this yet. And we also saw $100 worth burnt. So they could still be in testing phase with no real value attributed. However, this is a big however, a lot has been being printed in the last few days, both over on ETH, like $100 burnt on ETH, $100 burnt on the XRP ledger. This is all, if it says XRP scan, it's on the XRP ledger. If it says Ether scan, it's on ETH, and ETH had like $10 million worth plus minted on there as well over the last few days. So they were doing like a few 100,000 a day, 20,000 look to start, and 100,000 and 200,000 on ETH. 200,000, then 1 million on XRP ledger, then 500,000 on ETH, 500,000 on the XRP ledger, slowly picking up, and 10 million on ETH, and then 7 million, 6 million, 6 million, 6 million, 6 million, all on the XRP ledger. So although it might be still in the like demo period or the testing phase, pretty interesting that the numbers are ramping up. Like, why do you need to test, like, for example, 6 million when you could just test 600,000? Or surely if you're just doing a test of any number, you just test like, I don't know, 100 billion just to see if it works or whatever. So although it is testing, I do think that they're ready, and they probably will be backing that, and we just haven't got the news release for that yet. That's my personal speculation. So let's see. And it's a lot of capital being minted. If we keep getting that like every day, the TVL of the XRP ledger is going to be going through the roof, which is great for us. More liquidity, more optionality to trade, means that we can cash out into RLUSD on the XRPL without having to KYC on an exchange potentially. So keep thinking about these sorts of things, guys. Keep thinking about them. So going into crypto, Bitcoin has had a bit of a pullback, like I've called for many weeks in the newsletter. In fact, this is what I was talking about this week in the newsletter. So you're getting some alpha here. It comes out tomorrow. Please go and check that out. Completely free. You can just like sign up, weeklyinsight.substack.com, and then it's going to ask you if you want to pledge. Just hit no pledge. Bang your email in, read the newsletter because it's free and there's a lot going on. I go in depth with XRP. I'm not going to give you all the alpha today because I want to save some of that for tomorrow so you can read the newsletter and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. For example, I might have a tier 1 exchange potential partnership coming through. I was on a call with them last night. I've been on like 5 calls with them already. Buzzing if I get this. And one of the metrics they're looking for, and one of my metrics that they like, is the newsletter. So it really helps me out if you guys just read that and just subscribe. Like, it's free to do. It helps me out so much. It means that like I can continue to provide you guys free information because I can make a living in terms of like what I'm doing. I do well for trading, so I can't say I don't. But in terms of like general cash flow, if I get a partnership with a tier 1 exchange that you guys will like, that I like as an exchange anyway, brilliant. Like, it's win-win, and I get to keep doing this for free for you guys. So it does help me out, and I'll stop talking about it now because I don't like talking about that sort of thing, as you guys know. So looking at XRP, there's one main thing I want to focus on in a second. I talk about this in the newsletter today as well, and I spoke about it a few times on X. This is a sentiment flush yesterday. Realistically, price of XRP did move down slightly more than other assets. You can see, we'll have a look in a minute at the Bitcoin and ETH against XRP charts. Did move down a little bit more than Bitcoin and ETH, but mainly a sentiment flush. Structurally, we didn't really lose anything. We're just at the bottom of the range. Last time we got a flush out like this, and I've shown more metrics over on the newsletter with Velo. I'm not going to show them right now because, again, I'll just be reiterating. We had quite a quick reversal to the upside. So do I think we'll get one of the same magnitude? Honestly, I don't know. It depends what Bitcoin does. XRP has been moving on kind of on its own, so maybe it'll come like tomorrow, the next day, if Bitcoin moves today or ETH moves today, and I think Bitcoin is going to have a bit of a short-term bounce. But with that being said, I haven't actually checked the Bitcoin dominance chart for a while, so let's have a little look. Okay, it looks like a lower high is coming in for Bitcoin right now, but we are again above resistance. So let's see how Bitcoin dominance reacts to this. Maybe it continues higher if Bitcoin does have a little bit of a bounce here and then maybe a rotation into alts before Bitcoin pulls back again. That's my thought process. Right, now let's look at Bitcoin XRP. We'll look at Bitcoin XRP on the short term. I talked about this just a second ago, saying, look, it did lose strength against Bitcoin yesterday, and it also lost some strength against ETH. But we haven't violated the lows yet for XRP against ETH, and maybe we do. Maybe we come down to this sort of area here before having a strong bounce. This is something I'd be looking at. And Cred kind of backed that thought process up, Credible Crypto that is, by saying at some point he thinks Bitcoin will probably XRP against Bitcoin will probably move into this area. I'm going to just make that green so I can show you that's where Cred was talking about. There we go. He thinks it'll move into this area and then we'll have an aggressive bounce for XRP against Bitcoin. And I can see that happening. I've been saying to you guys, XRP looks like it is doing something different. I'm going to move on to XRP dominance chart in a second, which I've also written about in the newsletter if you want to read about my thoughts on the XRP dominance. But right, all that's being said now, you've got my short-term thesis, and now I'm going to take all my drawings off because I want to show you something that I was looking at yesterday. just inverted, right? Like just to invert your chart, you hold Alt and press I on TradingView. Just inverted the Bitcoin XRP chart. And my God, does this look weak. Look, every single time we've got to this level, we've rejected. And then we haven't managed to even get to the previous high, and we've rejected. So look, the lowest or the highest point that we got to is like 0.42. We wicked just below it and then rejected more heavily than the time before. And then the next time we tried to get up there, we didn't get anywhere near. We got to like 641, rejected. And now we're at 674. So we're just still, again, lower or higher because it's inverted. But we're looking for that strong rejection. And look, it's not easy when we get up there. It's still chopping around to do. Look, there's chopping around to do here. You feel like you're at the bottom. There's one last flush. You feel like you're at the bottom. There's one last flush. And we're just chopping about for weeks. Again, we get there and we don't, and we're like, cool, it's time to reverse. No, actually, then we bounce back up and then we do get the reversal. Here, look, we did get there. And then we pull down and one last flush. And then now we're in this area here. So yeah, there's a fair value gap here in terms of like an open candle look. Could come into there. It's what the one that Cred's talking about there. Come into there. And then do we see that big kaplunk that we've seen here, that we even saw there before we're wicking back, that we saw even here, that we saw here, and that we saw here, all from the same price level. In fact, even lower. Look, if I draw on this, I'm going to lose all my drawings, so I don't want to do this. Do you know what, guys? For you guys, I will, because we're looking at this target area here, by the way. So let's just Alt it I again. Oh, sorry. Alt I again. So we can see the target area I'm looking for is all the way up here. We could see anywhere between, it's about 1,000% move to a 2,500%, which is about a 10 to 25x from this point against Bitcoin. Currently, that's the sort of move I'm looking for. At least that. And we're going to bin all my drawings now. Oh, look at all that artistic work that has now gone down the drain. I'm not very... And now I can't invert it. Here we go. So what we're looking at here is, let me draw. And this is going to be even more embarrassing because I cannot draw to save my life. So there's the first high. I don't like the aesthetics of this. Let me just make it a bit better. There we go. There's the first high, and we'll copy and paste that. And then we've got a lower high. So you can see exactly what I'm talking about. A lower high. And a lower high. And what we also have is all this like untapped area here. This is all untapped. We've not broken below that. So are we going to do that and come all the way down here and potentially set a lower low, inverted lower low, so a higher high against Bitcoin? I think there's potential for it, guys. I really do. Here we set a lower high, and then we set a higher, no, here we set a higher low, and then we set a lower high, and then we set a lower low, and now we set another lower high, and then so realistically, this is a downtrend. So we've got the high, holding the level, lower high, lower low, lower high, holding the trend still, but with untapped liquidity, so maybe there's a little push higher, and then boom, we come down and we set that lower low. And I mean, I don't think we actually do validate the low that we've already put in, or the high in this case that we've already put in, but I do think we come down to test the bottom of this range. The interesting level is going to be around this line here. And we're going to make it the right way around now, so it's easier to talk about. But when you look at it on an inverted scale, it looks like it's ready to collapse. When you look at it here, you can argue, oh, maybe it's not, like you need a lot of strength to come. But if you look at it on that inverted level, you can see quite clearly that it looks like it's ready to break out. And that's basically where I'm going to leave you today, guys. I wanted to spend a lot of time on that because I think it's important that you guys understand what I'm seeing. Let me know if you do understand what I'm saying or if you think I'm crazy again in the comments. And please do subscribe to my newsletter, subscribe to my YouTube, hit that like button for me, and comment and share with a friend if you do enjoy. I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace up, A-Town down, as Crypto Insight UK would say.